For the first 2.5 seasons of his career, Larry Johnson was little more than a disgruntled backup running back. In Week 9 of last season, he finally got his chance to be the full-time starter.
And Johnson stays on his feet, 15, 10, and stays on his feet inside the 5. Touchdown!
He became the game's premier power back and finished the year with an astounding 1,750 rushing yards and 21 touchdowns. After making his presence known around the league, I learned Johnson had one more introduction he would like to make.
When you say he's a student of history and a student of the NFL, this guy knows Paul Lowe. I mean, he told me that, boy, what a thrill it would be to be able to spend some time up at NFL Films. Gee, I'd love to meet Steve Sabol. Imagine how disappointed he's going to be to meet the real Steve.
Larry, thanks a lot. At first, I thought I was meeting with the latest star in hip-hop rather than football, and our generation gap showed immediately. When you've scored touchdowns, what do you do when you get in the end?
It's just basically
that's what it was.
It's like this. That's the dynasty sign.
The dynasty sign?
Yes. I'm gonna educate you on hip hop now. It's more of a like a rapper named Jay-Z who basically.
When you said dynasty, I thought you were talking about Joan Collins and John. You know that old show.
Oh no, yeah, I know you're talking about.
All right.
It was more of a.
As it turns out, I'm not the only person who has struggled to connect with Larry Johnson.
If he can't play Sunday, we need him. And it's time, young man. It's time to take your diapers off and go to work, you know.
Obviously, you heard what he said.
Yeah.
And so you didn't like what he said. You wouldn't go up and talk to him about it?
No, that's drama. That's Young and the Restless, General Hospital. Somebody come out and say that about me, knowing that I'm the truest when it comes to playing football and trying to play hard. And yeah, it's a little frustrating when they bring you here and they can't tell you whether you're going to play, where you're not going to play. I mean, that's just how I feel.
This is something that was written about you that I found in the Kansas City Star. It says, everywhere Johnson's been, it's the same. He makes people mad. He challenges authority. He's misunderstood, misused, misjudged. He's always been an angry man who has his own peculiar view of the world. Is that accurate?
It's real accurate.
Do not run the ball to the side. Do trade, do wham, and do draws on both sides.
His anger is not the anger in the sense of anger mad. His anger is that he wants to be successful. You know, that's the difference. You know, that's what people construe. Well, he's got a chip on his shoulder. He's got that. That's okay. You know what I mean? That's okay. That's what you think. But he's really doing it because he knows every time he walks on the field, you have to prove yourself.
Johnson's father first taught his son about proving himself on the football field when he coached him in Pop Warner.
The first scrimmage against a bigger team, I'm running, so I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna score. This is pretty much easy. I get to the sideline, and all of a sudden I got hit, blindsided. I was like, Dad, I think I'm done. I had a headache too. I was like one of those ringers. I was like, Dad, I'm done. I don't want to play football no more.
I go, no, you can't be done. You can't be done. And I gave him a speech about, hey, just go back out there, give another shot. You'll prove yourself. You'll be all right, promise you. He goes back out. He hits the sideline again. Instead of running out of bounds, he turns back into the guys in the middle of the field just to prove how tough he was.
After introducing his son to the game, Larry Sr. showed him old NFL films so he could learn about pro football's great running backs.
He used to always tell me, if you want to learn to be good at something, you got to learn the history of the game.
In high school, Larry Jr. learned patience and how to make the most of an opportunity. He was an unused backup until midway through his junior season. His first chance to play, he ran for over 200 yards. For college, he headed to Penn State, where his father was the defensive line coach. For 3 seasons, he toiled as the backup running back before finally becoming the starter as a senior. In his home finale, he had the opportunity to become the first player in school history to run for 2,000 yards in a season.
And I'm trying my best not to cry because I know the camera's going to roll right to my face when he runs for 2,000 yards.
They pitch it to Larry Johnson, left side, 40, 35, 30, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown! 2K for LJ!
I lost it. Here's Larry off the sideline and grabbing a big hug. It was a great moment. It was a great moment to be a father.
After leaving the warm embrace of his father in Penn State, Johnson entered the cold world of pro football. In the 2003 draft, he was selected by the Chiefs, a team that already had an all-pro running back in Priest Holmes.
As soon as somebody Kansas City called, I was like, man, it got to be somebody else that need a running back.
Very frankly, at that time, Priest was coming off of hip surgery. We weren't sure if and when he would be back or how much he would be able to play. Unfortunately, to Larry's disappointment, our happiness, Priest came back and had a great year, scored 27 rushing touchdowns, set the record at that time. And Larry went to the bench.
What did you think then?
I was like,
here we go again.
Yeah, here we go again. I had to sit and wait and for somebody else to go down or somebody else to move on. I don't think it has to work that way. And if you have one great guy, why can't you have two great guys? And I think sometimes people think in job situations like, I can never beat him out because he's the guy, he's the CEO, so I can't be better than him. And sometimes it's not always necessarily true.
One person who was hesitant to give Johnson his share of playing time was Chiefs head coach Dick Vermeil.
Maybe he will continue to grow up because he got some pressure on him now, because if Priest doesn't play, he's going to be carrying a load, and it's a lot of responsibility that so far he has a way to go to prove that he can handle it.
In Johnson's first start of 2005, the Chiefs trailed by 3 with only seconds left.
He's at the 15-yard line, angling 10, 5, Larry Johnson is down to the 1.
With time for one more play, rather than play for the tie, Vermeil placed the game and his trust in Johnson's hands.
Let's go for the score right here. Let's go for the score. Run 1 inch left. 20 Z blast. 20 Z blast. That decision, if we lose, could be the decision that you live with the rest of your career.
Man, is he going for it. Here we go from the 1-yard line. This is to win the game or lose the game.
Johnson rewarded Vermeil's leap of faith with a leap to victory.
Touchdown, Kansas City. What a gutsy call.
Wow, what the hell can I say? Offense. We as coaches finally got smart enough to find out what the hell you guys can do best. Run down their frickin' throat. You're going to see more of it. I promise you, you're going to see more.
Johnson went on to break the Chiefs' individual game and single-season rushing records. He also earned the admiration of one of his harshest critics.
Nice going, kiddo. Great going. 201 yards. Just the beginning. Just the beginning.
I think he has Jim Brown talent. I think he's truly a gifted, big, running, strong running back. He runs with anger. He runs mad.
And the man beast, the Doberman that is Larry Johnson, continues to churn.
He's out to prove a point. I think he's out to prove a point that he wishes he had played sooner. His goals are not just to be the best in a given season or, go to a Pro Bowl. He's expressed the fact that he wants to be one of the best ever.
He's been a little bit on one of those rides where everything was good last year. Every time he went in the game, something good happened. There's going to be some negative things too, because that's ball now. It's not always good, but it's how you deal with when good things don't happen to you.
Now, you okay? I'm fine. I'm not getting any damn push.
When you go through the storms of your life, if you handle them correctly, they make you a better player and a better person.
Johnson has encountered a few obstacles in trying to duplicate his record pace of a year ago, but he is determined to stay on course toward greatness.
It was ugly, but you got it, boy. See, don't give up on yourself, because I ain't never going to give up on you. You hear me?
Yes.
It's going to be bad sometimes. That's all right. We'll get it cleared up.
He's taken steps to ensure that the great players he studied as a child remain in his thoughts.
Yeah. That's something I could probably never do, would be able to cut like Gale Sayers. When you can do moves like that and know who's behind you and know who's in front of you.
He had the seats in his car reupholstered to feature jerseys of some of his favorite players from the past.
So like when I sit down, I'm sitting on Larry Zonka, Ollie Madsen, Paul Lowe, I have Dickie Post.
Dickie Post, now that's a great running back in the 70s. You're the first person that's mentioned him outside of the confines of NFL films. You obviously never saw him play in person, he just must have been in films.
Yeah. I go out there every Sunday to see if I can live up to those guys. Every time I touch the ball, like I'm trying to make them proud. Can I run it like Earl Campbell?
A terrific run by Larry Johnson. He would not go down.
Can I run it like Jim Brown?
Toss sweep left, Larry Johnson trying to get outside. He's pulled down, now moves back to the right. It gets a block. 2 now inside the 10. 5. Touchdown and a remarkable run by Larry Johnson.
He in his Earl Campbell, Jim Brown mode right now. Banging like
Although our generation gap has given the two of us different perspectives on pop culture, we both know how to recognize a great running back. What do you think of this guy?
He's young, but he's getting there. He's getting there.